Are you a high-risk taker or a low-risk taker? Is the S&P 500 the best instrument for you, or are REITs better? In this video, I'm going to go through how you can assess risks and manage risks. Hi, I'm Duke from Money Maverick. You would think that the S&P 500 is an extremely safe instrument in some sense because it has top 500 of the world's global leading companies, and it's stuff that we do every day, like McDonald's, Coke, your Microsoft. We rarely think that these are companies that will ever, for example, go bankrupt or lose tremendous amounts of money. That being said, the reality of an index like the S&P 500 is that it's constantly changing. So if you look at the history of the S&P 500, what's happened is that the companies are filtered out over time based on capitalization, meaning that if a company isn't doing well enough to stay in the S&P 500, it'll get knocked out. And then a new company comes in to replace that company that wasn't performing at the time to make up this particular index. You have 500 companies which are the top in the world, and they should be fairly diversified because it's 500 companies. Like, your risk is spread out across a lot of people, man. And you can still experience 50-80% drops to your entire capital without making a cent. It's possible. REITs are extremely high risk. If we define risk as volatility in relation to how far it can drop, like I mentioned just now, how far it can drop on a regular basis, how long it will take for you to recover your capital, things like that. But for the most part, it's not exactly like a safe instrument for old people, for example. It's certainly not meant for capital preservation. There's no capital guarantee in any form, sort, or manner. What likely happens is that the value of the REITs, for quite a few of them, tend to depreciate regularly over time as they pay out excessively, because they can't keep up with the profits that they're supposed to be bringing in, but they're obligated to pay out a specific amount of profits. So what happens is that the value of their business continues to drop while they are forced to pay out profits. It's pretty funny, also kind of sad. So some people may pick like a REIT fund or a REIT exchange traded fund of sorts, so that they can get like a little mix of what would make a good REIT counter, I guess. So if you have no clue, and you also can see for yourself that risk can be pretty difficult, especially if you're not super into this space, then I would suggest you just get like a mix, like a fund or an exchange traded fund even. In contrast with high interest rates, equities tend to go up, you see. So in comparison, REITs tend to go down, or at least as a general category. And then even then, you would have to categorize them by geography because, for example, China REITs behave differently from Singapore REITs. So it's a little hard to gauge what an alternative would be. But if you're looking at an alternative for returns, means that, okay, like I'm not looking at a REIT anymore. I'm looking at the returns that a REIT could get me, but I don't want to be invested in a REIT. There are plenty of options. All sorts of various equities from various geographies, India, China, your Asia ex Japan as a whole, even if you wanted to be in tech, if you wanted to be in health science. Many options for you to replace the returns that you could get from a REIT.